and welcome to the latest episode of the Racing Podblast with me, Tony Mack, and Ben Aiken from Narrowing the Field. So, welcome along, everybody. We're off to Newbury this weekend for some Group 1 action, covering 3 races from the Premier Race Day, of course, on Saturday, including the big race of the day, the Group 1 Lockinge Stakes, and then we head up to Scotland for the final time this season. For the final round of our Football Trixie Battle, top, middle and bottom, but that battle was long gone and long over there. But racing first, as always, and to Newbury we go, starting with the listed Carnarvon Stakes, due off at 2:25 on Saturday. Ben, welcome along, mate, and can you start us off with that one?
Morning, Tony. Yep, Carnarvon Stakes. Race restricted to 3-year-olds. Last 12 winners of the race did all fit a similar profile. All 12 were a colt or gelding rated at least 98, had previously won over at least 6 furlongs and had won one of their last 4 starts. 4 of this year's field meet that profile. James's Delight, Mr. Sketch, Room Service and Action Point. A couple from that trends shortlist I do catch my eye. James Delight is a course and distance winner, having won on racecourse debut over the Newbury 6 furlongs last July. Already had 3 starts this season, won twice over 6 furlongs with a non-staying 9th in the Greenham in between those 2 wins. Not the first time he failed to stay 7 furlongs, and he does look all over a 6 furlong type of horse. Should get a good toe into this race as he looks to be drawn near the speed horses from his stall 11 starting position, so I do like the chances of James's Delight. I also like Room Service for Kevin Ryan. He's another that ran in Greenham. He also looked like a non-stayer over the 7 furlong trip. So this step back to a 6 furlong trip looks ideal. Kevin Ryan doesn't send many to the race, this being only his 4th runner. The previous 3 finished 1st, 6th and 2nd. So he tends not to waste his bullets on this race unless he thinks he's got one that can go close. Room Service is still actually entered in the Irish 2,000 guineas next weekend. Highly unlikely he'll be going there after his Greenham effort, but it does show they must rate Room Service high enough. So 2 for me in the Carnarvon Stakes, James's Delight and Room Service. What you got for the Carnarvon Stakes, Tony?
Yeah, it's certainly an interesting one. The first one I've got on shortlist, but not sure it'll be. It's a massive price. Inish Fallen for the Manton Thoroughbreds. Brian Meehan training out of Manton. Sean Levy's in the saddle there. Better than his last performance, beaten over 9.5 lengths, finishing last of 10 in the Group 3 Commonwealth Cup Trial stakes at the beginning of this month on his his seasonal debut. I think Inish Fallen, it'd be interesting to see where he goes from here and how he performs tomorrow, but the 2 for me are at the top of the mark, and I'll probably be Dutching these 2. Relief Rally for William Haggis, Tom Marquand in good form this week at York. It was last seen in the Group 3 Dubai Duty Free Stakes, formerly the Fred Darling at Newbury over 7 furlongs, finishing 4th of 6, beaten 2 3/4 lengths as the 7-4 favourite. Was expected to go a lot better than that. I think he will go a lot better tomorrow. He's a course winner. He's won over a similar trip, and as I say, he was beaten favourite last time out. James's Delight is my other one. I'm with you on this, Ben, all the way. Course and distance winner. Clive Cox with Richard Kingscourt in the saddle. Big at 13-2. Win a couple of places. As you say, he won last time out in a handicap. And first of 11 winning by 1 1/4 lengths. So and that was after a bit of a disappointing in the Group 3 the Greenham Stakes at Newbury, but he's back at Newbury tomorrow. James's Delight, course and distance winner, and also Relief Rally for me. That'll be Dutch. I'll be Dutching those 2. Moving on to the 3 o'clock, the London Gold Cup, Class 2 handicap over 1 mile, 2 furlongs. Ben, what's your thoughts on the London Gold Cup off at 3 o'clock?
Yeah, a race that can be won by a horse that goes on to bigger and better things. Bay Bridge, Defoe, Time Test, Alcazim, they've all won the race in recent years. Last year's winner, Bertinelli, went on to run a big race at Royal Ascot off the back of winning this. Bertinelli, who now races in Hong Kong and is called Unbelievable. Don't know why they changed the name. True story, though. I was searching for him yesterday, couldn't find him, stumbled upon him. So name change. But yeah, Bertinelli, another one of those horses that won this and ran well off the back of it. Not really a race, the London Gold Cup, where I'm keen on dipping into trends for. Nothing stands out for me on that side of things. I came down on a short list of King's Gambit, Fighter Command, and Goodwood Odyssey. King's Gambit is of obvious interest as he's trained by the Charltons, and they have an excellent record in this race. They won it 4 times, had one other place from only 8 previous runners. Their previous winners were all making their handicap debut in the London Gold Cup. Handicap debutants for the Charltons in the London Gold Cup are 4 from 4. King's Gambit is making his handicap debut, so he's following a similar path as all of the previous winners of the race. King's Gambit has also had all 3 of his previous starts at Newbury, so he knows the track well. Does look like he may well have been lined up for this race from some way out. The form of his head second over a mile on his final start of last season also reads very well. He was beaten by Bracken's Laugh that day, giving that one £6. Bracken's Laugh has since run 5th in a Group 1 in France, won a variable conditions race at Chelmsford easily, and finished a close second in the D Stakes at Chester. Bracken's Laugh is now rated 108. King's Gambit runs in this off 93. So plenty of strong pointers suggesting he has an excellent chance to land a 5th London Gold Cup for the Charlton Yard. King's Gambit. Fighter's Pilot, he lined up for Gosden's. He's by Dubawi. Gosden's do some solid stats with Dubawi offspring in handicaps over 1 mile, 1 and further. Special horses on one of their first 4 starts of the season. With those types, they are 19 wins, 8 places from 52 qualifiers, 37% win strike rate, 52% win and place strike rate, over 47 point profit to exchange SP. Fighter Pilot, I think he should have improvement to come off his opening mark of 84, so he's of interest. And Goodwood Odyssey, the other on my shortlist, he's trained by David Menouzier, and he's got some eye-catching stats in Newbury handicaps with his 3 and 4 year olds, especially those that start at around 7 to 1 or less. 6 winners and a second from 14 runners with those types. You should have Goodwood Odyssey ready to go here. Menouzier also has an excellent record with his 3 and 4 year olds in handicaps that won last time out and are returning off a break of 25 days or less. 16 winners, 3 placed from 34. 47% win strike rate, 56% win and place strike rate, over 38 points profit. So Goodwood Odyssey catches my eye on a few trainer stats there. But King's Gambit, he's the one I like the best in this. Plenty in his favour here. I think this will likely have been King's Gambit's early season target. And Goodwood Odyssey, he'd be the other that I'm interested in playing. So King's Gambit and Goodwood Odyssey for me. Tony, what have you got for the London Gold Cup?
Chantilly, or is it Chantilly, or whatever they're going to call it tomorrow. Chantilly is the for Mount of Rhyme for trainer Aidan O'Brien. It's currently 9-2 in some places. Distance winner last time out at Leopardstown on heavy ground. It was on seasonal debut, beating 9 rivals by 4 1/4 lengths in a pretty facile fashion, as well as the 7-4 favourite. Ryan Moore is still in the saddle. He was on board for the first time in April, and he's on board today. And Aidan O'Brien in a handicap needs to be noted. And I'm with you on the other two. Ben, is Goodwood Odyssey. Looks very, very interesting. A colt out of Ulysses. Again, David Menouzier and Kieran Schumacher team up for this one. I think he can improve on his seasonal debut, or rather, both runs this season. On seasonal debut, Kempton on the all-weather, and then on good to soft at Sandown over 10 furlongs. where he beat 11 rivals, beating them 1 3/4 lengths at odds of 5-1. And Fighter Command for John and Thady Gosden, Benoit Delasayet in the saddle. Now, this is interesting, I found this really interesting this morning. Ladbrokes and Coral going 16-1. First four, paying four places. The rest are nines, Bet365, William Hill at 9-1. At the time of recording this show, Ladbrokes are 16-1, outstanding from all the rest. Fighter Command, distance winner, off the mark for connections at the third time of asking on a second start this season at Windsor over 10 furlongs, beating Liam Swagger as the 8-11 favourite, beating the neck. Beating 8 rivals by a neck and Liam Swagger 8-11. I do like the chances and a little tiny bit of on Fighter Command each way with either Ladbrokes or Corals, who are going 16-1. I don't know how long that'll last or whether the others will push Fighter Command out. But Goodwood Odyssey, Fighter Command and Sean Tilley tomorrow on at the 3 o'clock, the London Gold Cup. On to the big one, 3:35 Lockinge Stakes, Group 1 over 1 mile. What's going to win the Lockinge Stakes, Ben? What do you reckon?
Yeah, some solid trends at play in this early season Group 1. Last 12 winners all passed the following. Aged 4, 5 or 6, rated 115 or higher, had between 5 and 16 previous UK and Irish career starts, and had won or placed on one of the last 2 UK and Irish starts. It also noted that last 12 winners all started at a single figure SP, so no real surprise results, or at least no big priced outsiders snatching the main prize in the Lockinge. 3 meet those trends this year: Inspiral, Sharon and Poker Face. Inspiral vying for favouritism with the French rider Big Rock at the time of recording this. I'd say the ground is probably coming more in the favour of Inspiral rather than Big Rock. Inspiral also has some very strong form on her first 3 runs in a season. To date, she has compiled a form line on her first 3 seasonal starts of 1-1-1, 1-2-1, 2-5-1, and she should be ready to fire here in this early season Group 1 in Spiral. Sharon, 2 from 2 this season. Good to see, because he failed to win any of his 7 starts in his 3-year-old season last year. Not quite convinced he's a Group 1 winner in waiting. 0 from 5 in Group 1s in his career. He could be up to it this season. Now he's a 4-year-old. Maybe he just needed last season. But I think he's maybe a little shorter than I'd want him to be for this. He's on kind of on the verge of where I'd consider backing him. I think I probably want bigger than 4-192 personally to pay to see if he's a proper Group 1 player. He could be, but I think I'll just be watching rather than backing Sharon tomorrow. And Poker Face, the other that meets the trends, probably also question if he was a proper Group 1 player. But at least there's a bit more juice in his price at 13-2, 7-1. To be honest, probably not the strongest Lockinge in recent memory. I think it does look like it's between the 2 that head the market, Big Rock and Inspiral. I'll be favouring Inspiral. She beat Big Rock in a Group 1 of France last August when giving weight to him. She now receives weight from Big Rock. I think she'll prove too good for the French rider under these conditions. So Inspiral for me. Tony, what have you got for the Lockinge?
Yeah, from those at the top of the market, Ben, I do like the chances of Sharon. I think being brought on. He's been brought on. Dark Angel Colt, and his sort of progression's quite interesting. He's finished behind Paddington on a couple of occasions in Group 1 company, especially at Royal Ascot, St James's Palace, and then at Glorious Goodwood he finished 3rd of 5 in a Group 1, the Sussex Stakes. He's obviously he came back. He won a listed stakes at Doncaster in March, and then just late last month, a couple of weeks ago, at Sandown, he won the Group 2 Bet365 mile over this mile. Distance winner Sharon, I think he's developing quite nicely. I don't know whether he's good enough to beat the front two in the market, but I'll certainly be having a little bit on Sharon on tomorrow afternoon. Roger Varian, Sylvester de Souza in the saddle. Two at massive prices here, Ben. I do like the chances of Royal Scotsman to hit the frame with hopefully there'll be some firms paying 4 places tomorrow, but Royal Scotsman for Paul and Oliver Cole. Jamie Spencer, of course, riding for Fittery here tomorrow. I think Royal Scotsman could go well despite his time off the track. 333 days since we last saw him at Royal Ascot, finishing 8th of 9 in the St James's Palace Stakes. And he takes a drop in, he's back up to Group 1 for tomorrow in the Lockinge. And finally, 50 to 1 stab in the dark here for the Kevin Ryan trained High Royal, who's a distance winner, training for Jabba Abdullah, and has Ryan Moore. Quite interesting jockey booking there for Kevin Ryan, who's been among the winners this week at York. So it's possibly a sporting bet, very, very small. High Royal in the Lockinge Stakes at around 50 to 1 summer pain. But my single main bet will be on Sharon tomorrow, and fingers crossed there for everybody who's playing in the 335 at Newbury. Right now it's top, middle and bottom.
The great thing about loving football is you cannot explain why you love it. It just happens. Chasing a ball round a park, wanting one team to win against the other.
El Mahoney, right foot, whips it. Oh, jeez, he peeps, man.
Yes, a bit of a pod you've all been waiting for, top, middle and bottom. Before this week's selections, Ben will give us an update of the current state of play. But just before we move on, Ben, I have to thank you for putting together the script every week this season, as you've always done as well on the Racing Podblast. Thank you very much, mate. It saves me a hell of a job as well. But I really do appreciate the work you put into the script. And even keeping an honest totals running as well, mate.
Yep, to the penny. To the very penny. Last week's results in the top, middle and bottom. 2 winners for me. Plus 3.48 points profit. Seems like a long time since I was profit. Just 1 winner for you, Tony. Minus 4 points. Current state of play, me. Plus 4.23. Which means I think I'm going to be, I know I can not be in the minus.
Yes.
The worst I can do is plus 0.23. It's been a damn grind, Jesus. Tony, minus 37.15, and it's the final round of games for us this week. The torture finally ends for us until we fire things back up for the Euros special next month. All on board Scotland to lose everything. No chance, mate. Don't worry. And so my final top, middle and bottom this season is top Wraith to beat Partick Thistle at 6-5. Wraith are in control of the tie. They won the first leg 2-1 on Tuesday. Partick are going to struggle to overturn that at Start Spark, I think. Partick have had some real tough games in a short period of time. Wraith are solid at home most of the season. I can only see this going the way of Wraith Rovers win for me in the top. Middle, Calais Thistle and Hamilton to draw at 12-5. I fear Big Duncan, Calais Thistle are doomed. They lost the first leg of this 2-1, and I'm far from convinced they can turn us around in the home leg. Inverness only managed 4 wins at home in the league. They're the lowest scorers at home with only 17 goals in 18 matches. Struggled to put away Montrose in the last round of the playoffs. I think Hamilton can grind out a draw here, see themselves promoted back into the championship at the expense of Calais and Big Dunk, which is not a good start to Big Dunk's tenure at Calais Thistle. And bottom, Stranraer and East Kilbride to draw at 9-4. These two fought out a 2-all draw in the first leg of this. I reckon this will end a draw as well. Probably a cagey affair. See the tie go to extra time, possibly penalties. It's another draw for me here in the bottom section, giving me a final top, middle and bottom of top, Wraith, middle, Cali and Hamilton to draw, and bottom Stranraer and East Kilbride to draw. Tony.
Good stuff. Right, I've got Wraith, same as you. So it's tonight as well, isn't it? Wraith Rovers against Partick. 6-5. I'm going all in on Wraith Rovers. Then I'm got more confidence in Big Dunk than you have, Ben. Cali Thistle 11-10 to beat Hamilton, and of course, as Big Dunk says, if they don't win the game, they'll always win at fighting in the car park. And then we've got Spartans and Dumbarton. I'm all in on one final shot at Dumbarton, 15-8. 15-8 they are. Dumbarton away at Spartans. They're going to throw the kitchen sink at Spartans tonight. So we've got Race at 6-5, Cali at 11-10, and Dumbarton at 15-8. There you go. Our fantastic last week of top, middle and bottom. It's been great fun. I think everybody's took it in the spirit that it was meant in, despite my minus 37 points. I think I've done well. I'm quite proud of myself. I think the last 6 or 7 weeks I've been between minus 30 and minus 40. I've still kept it under 40.
You stabilised it.
Many thanks for listening to the latest edition of the Racing Podblast. Very best of luck with your betting at Newbury this week. I'm on tonight on the radio tonight, a Heritage Chart Radio, heritagechartradio.co.uk, and it's the Groove Express between 1900 and 2100 hours tonight, and you catch more of Ben over on narrowinthefield.co.uk. Big thanks to listeners, old and new. Welcome along to the new listeners. Have a great weekend, everyone, and we'll see you next week with the next instalment of the Racing Podblast. See you now. Cheers, Ben.
Cheers, Brian.